Good morning, televiewers, and happy weekend from the team. We are glad you stayed with us throughout the week. And this is the very last edition of The Brief, which is, of course, dedicated to the review of striking headlines in the papers. Let's find out what the French newspapers have for us with Etape Quentin, as usual. Bonjour, Etape Quentin.
Bonjour à nos millions de téléspectateurs et merci de nous rejoindre dans cette grande revue de presse bilingue de votre émission Débrief, édition de ce 17 septembre 2021 sur My Media Prime TV, The Eyes of Africa. Commençons très rapidement avec cet exercice sur le plan de reconstruction des régions anglophones qui ont subi les affres de la crise anglophone, notamment la région du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. D'ailleurs, les 12 derniers mois, des grandes réalisations, c'est ce dont nous propose le journal Le Quotidien à sa grande une de ce matin. Si l'on s'en tient à cette parution, c'est la substance du rapport présenté par le coordinateur national du plan présidentiel de reconstruction et du développement du NOZO, Paul Tasson, par ailleurs ministre délégué auprès du ministre de l'économie, de la planification et de l'aménagement du territoire. C'était au cours des travaux de la 3e section du comité de pilotage du dit plan présidentiel qui s'est tenu hier jeudi 16 septembre 2021 à l'immeuble Étoile sous la présidence du ministre directeur de cabinet du Premier ministre Joseph John Gouté. Fermons ce journal pour ouvrir le bi-hebdomadaire, le journal et Sengan, qui s'intéresse plutôt aux travaux publics et consacre à sa grande une chantier routier Bogo pousse le président de la République, son Excellence Paul Biya Somganou Djoumissi, d'engager les travaux. Le journal explique que cette information a été relayée dans une correspondance du ministre d'État, secrétaire général de la présidence de la République, Ferdinand Ngongo. Paul Biya ordonne le patron du MINTP de boucler la procédure d'attribution de ce marché englouti dans la corruption. Nos confrères nous rappellent que cette instruction présidentielle intervient après la récente dénonciation du collectif des conseillers municipaux et forces vives de Maga, révoltés par les blocages occasionnés par le ministère des Travaux publics. Un dossier à retrouver dans les colonnes des pages 6 et 7 de ce journal en kiosque ce matin. Parlons à présent de la nécrologie avec le journal La Nouvelle Expression. Barreau du Cameroun, un géant s'écroule, c'est le titre que le journal poste d'ailleurs à sa grande une. Plus loin dans ce tabloïd, l'on apprend que Maître Ngale Miano est décédé hier jeudi 16 septembre 2021 à l'hôpital La Quintini de Douala des suites de maladies. Certaines sources parlent des complications liées au coronavirus. Avocat au barreau du pays, Maître Ngale Miano est l'un des héros de la défense de la liberté de la presse pendant les années de Brest. En tout cas, nous rapporte le journal à la page 6 où vous y trouverez également le portrait du disparu. Et puis terminons en sport avec le quotidien, le journal Info Matin qui affiche à la une supérieure Cannes 2021 au Lembe hors jeu, point d'interrogation. Dans la page 3, on peut lire que les dirigeants de la CAF, notamment le président et le secrétaire général, seront reçus ce vendredi 17 septembre en audience au Palais de l'Unité, pas pour exprimer à Paul Biya un autre glissement, mais leur décision éventuelle de délocaliser la poule que devait accueillir cette arène de 60 000 places en raison de l'achèvement du chantier qui joue toujours les prolongations. Mesdames et messieurs, voici ce qui est pour la presse en langue française. Place actuellement à la découverte d'une des autres journaux en anglais avec toi, Lacha Kinsley. Bonjour une fois de plus.
Bonjour une fois de plus, Etape Quentin. Good morning, televiewers, and thank you for staying with us this morning. Let's kick start with the Lone English Daily, the Guardian Post newspaper, which is focusing on imposed lockdown by separatist fighters in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. According to the paper, repeated anti-people strategies. Northwest and southwest population makes a distress call, says choking under a separatist imposed 2 weeks lockdown. According to the paper, the lockdown, which was imposed by diaspora Ambazonian separatist leaders, was counterproductive, according to the population of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, who are calling on the powers that be to do something to salvage the situation. Let's talk about Olembe Stadium at risk of not hosting AFCON 2021 matches. CAF President and Secretary General via emergency meeting in view. According to sources, the Secretary General and the President of the Confederation of African Football in Cameroon, and they will be meeting with President Paul Biya at the Unity Palace today to discuss on ways of delocalizing matches that were supposed to be played at the Olembe Stadium to some other stadium that will be made available to CAF. We are told that according to the slow pace of construction works at the Olembe Stadium, the deadline, which was supposed to be November this year for the delivery of the stadium, will not be met up by the contractors who are charged with the execution of the said contracts. Reason why the CAF is concerned about the 60-man capacity stadium that is supposed to host matches for the AFCON 2021 in the country. Let's talk about the visit of World Bank Vice President for Central and West Africa, GICAM. World Bank exchange notes on business climate. Members of the Cameroon Employees Union, GICAM, and the Vice President of the World Bank for Western Central Africa, Usman Diangana, have reviewed possibilities of partnering to improve the business climate in the country. The senior World Bank official has discussions with delegation, or his delegation had discussions with officials of GICAM. That was on Tuesday, September 15, in the economic capital of Cameroon, Douala. Let's leave the Guardian Post newspaper. We are with Emergence. Emergence is interested in AFCON, is interested in October 1 in the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon. Separatists impose a 2-week lockdown, and population condemns the 2-week lockdown and says a strategy or lockdowns is ineffective or counterproductive. The population of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, caught in the war in the northwest and the southwest regions, are crying and condemning the lockdown imposed by diaspora Ambazonia leaders. Let's stay in the northwest region to talk about dozens of teachers who have been kidnapped by armed men believed to be Ambazonia fighters. The dozens of teachers, some of whom were kidnapped in Ngokitunja division as they went to take up duty for this 2021 or 2022 academic year. They were arrested, or they were kidnapped, and later released on payment of ransom, as we are told by Emergence newspaper. On to Cameroon Tribune. Cameroon Tribune is interested in the progress or the progressive socio-economic recovery of the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. The steering committee of the presidential plan for the reconstruction and development of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon during its third session in Yaoundé on 16 September 2021 reported a progress or a progressive take off of socio-economic and cultural activities in the crisis affected regions of Cameroon. The minister director of the Prime Minister's office cabinet that we are talking about, Confiance Ebune, met with officials of the presidential plan for the reconstruction of the northwest and southwest region. The chair of the committee presided at the session. More details on page 2 of this edition of the said newspaper, talking about the cries of the officials of the presidential plan for the reconstruction of the northwest region, who are in dire need of finances for the reconstruction of the said conflict hit regions of Cameroon, let's talk about importation of basic necessities in the country, such as palm oil, fish, and other basic commodities in the country. We are told that prices of these commodities are in sharp increase due to shortage. These prices, according to the newspaper, or these products, according to the newspaper, if attention is given to the sector, Cameroon will stop importing this product. Reason why Cameroon is suffering, because more attention is not given to the sector, especially the production of palm oil and other basic commodities, as we are told by the said newspaper. Thank you for watching, televiewers. We are back in the studio to continue with our discussions this morning, to talk about what is happening in the northwest and southwest regions. We are receiving some disturbing information that some military officials or elements of the National Defense Forces are feared dead in an ambush reportedly carried out by separatist fighters in Bamisin, in Ngokitunja division of the northwest region of Cameroon. Before that, let's welcome our guest in the studio, who is a human rights defender. We are talking about Amadou Tante, who is always with us here. Good morning, sir, and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Kingsley, and thank you once more for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure for me to be a guest on your program.
Yes, lockdown, continuous killings of both the military and the civilians, as well as the separatist fighters in the northwest and southwest. Where are we with this war?
It's not easy. Let me start first of all by condemning this issue of 2 weeks lockdown, because the 2 weeks lockdown imposed by separatist fighters on the population on the ground is really the effects of this is really devastating. In fact, we are confused of why these people continue inflicting pains on the same people you said you are fighting for them. Look at the issue of school. They said no school. Initially they said school was closed, so when school started and few people went to school, most of them were kidnapped and taken away. We keep on telling these separatist fighters that they should do everything possible to avoid to space to civilians, space students, space schools and teachers out of the war. We must not fight by kidnapping people. We must not fight by imposing serious lockdown as such on people. You can go on with your war with the other parties, the conflicting parties that you are fighting with, but you spare civilians on this and spare the other thing, any other thing that will impede peace or will inflict more pains on the people on the ground.
Okay, and those teachers were kidnapped. Most of them were kidnapped in Ngokitunja division, where we know the only community schools are operating in that area.
Yes,
I wonder what those teachers when they
in the meeting they said it took place in a Babisi, where the teachers, as what they are saying, some of the teachers who contacted them said we went there to mark their names or to resume duty as instruction of their hierarchy.
To mark their names to deceive who? Is the hierarchy not aware of the situation?
I don't know. That's why we keep saying that the government. As the government does not even value the lives of these civilians, but they know very well what the situation on the ground. But keep imposing that thing. They should have to go. They say in the Ngokitunja division, most of these schools, actually government schools, are not operating. Separatist fighters have imposed that only community schools would operate, and most of these community schools, you are not, even if it's a lay private school, you don't even have to put on uniform. They respect it and they wear the uniform, but up to our sudden, some of them still came and kidnapped people who were going to school, and we don't know why. Let's then allow these people to go to exercise this their right of education, allow these children and people to go to school, because we cannot be fighting for a just cause, claiming that we are fighting for a just cause, and at the same time inflicting pains or on our people, on the future of these people. Because when you are fighting anything that disturbs the education of our children, obviously disturb the future or obviously affects the future of our community.
Okay, étape.
Voilà, on va également parler de ce plan de reconstruction de ces régions en crise, notamment le NOZO. Eh bien, le journal Le Quotidien titre à sa grande une l'année des grandes réalisations. Quelle appréciation, quel commentaire?
Well, I don't understand what these people keep calling a plan of reconstruction, because we have initially said on several occasions that this issue of reconstruction is a waste of time. You cannot be talking about reconstruction when people are still on war, houses are still being destroyed, things are still being going. It is not possible for us to have any meaningful reconstruction now when we are.
Are you telling me that the hospitals that were destroyed, the bridges that were destroyed, those bridges should not be reconstructed, and the hospitals that probably people need, those things have to be operational for the local man to be able to receive basic medical care and I mean move from one part of the region to the other? Don't you think that the routes, the bridges and the hospitals and even the shelter is important.
No, you are right. The shelters, the hospitals are important, but these things, what is happening, they are effects of war, and we have to succumb to all what is happening. If things are happening this way, we are saving the way it is. But we cannot claim to be going now to construct roads or hospitals when you will see be born in the next day. So what would be the need of wasting all this money for nothing? Where we still know very well that what we are doing to them may obviously be destroyed tomorrow again, or even those who are risking their lives to take that contract and be executing them in the concerned areas can equally be killed or kidnapped. So those sort of these things.
So according to you, what is the solution? What
we keep praying on a daily basis that the president to do everything possible to engage in a meaningful dialogue with this or the separatist fighters.
With who? Where
is
saying
meaningful dialogue? We have separatist leaders.
No, wait. Recently, Amadou Tante, we saw Ayabacho said lockdown.
Yes.
Sako says no lockdown. Mabareta is saying a different thing. Tapan is saying a different thing.
The issue is that
the government
all these separatist leaders, they are fighting for one goal, which is separation, as they are claiming. But the problem now is all of them have their different ideologies, there are different ways or modus operandi of the way they want is to achieve this goal. So that's why they must always be misunderstood. Even within the government cycle, as we know here, these people are not, all of them are not saying the same thing. Sometimes you see this minister come out and tell us that the situation is under control, there's no problem. Another one come out tomorrow and tell us that no, it's just that so things are not going well, but we'll do everything possible to make sure that we keep calling on President Paul Biya to do everything possible to engage in a meaningful dialogue with these separatist leaders so that we can end this war. We don't even see the importance of this. What are we going to gain from all this?
Don't you think that these people should constitute themselves into a group so that the government will be, will know the real persons to talk to?
No, it's not.
If the government goes to talk, talk with Ayabacho and probably sideline Sako. If the government talks to Sako and sideline Ayabacho, there will still be problem.
If the government do that, it means that the government does not want peace. Because if the government want peace, it knows that their leaders.
But the problem now is that the people are not in harmony. The people
must not be on harmony before the government. That's why I said that even within the government cycle here, we have ministers who are not. They are not saying the same thing. Sometimes they are just saying. But what we are saying is that these people they may have their diversion, which is a normal thing in society. Because those are some of the beginning. When we talk about democracy begins when there is misunderstanding. When you are diversity in opinion, when you have your opinion, I have my own opinion, and you have the right to respect the right opinion of the other party. When this other person said there was lockdown, the other one said there was no lockdown. But what are we seeing on the ground today? So we should look on what is happening on the ground and forget all these people who are going around impeding peace, telling us different stories that things are gradually going to control. I just saw in another newspaper here that the economic situation on the ground is gradually changing, it's gradually improving. But that is not the situation on the ground. Things are not going well.
D'accord. Et parlons à présent sport. Les membres de la discipline, bien de la délégation de la CAF et je crois, voilà, le président de la CAF et son secrétaire général seront reçus en audience au Palais de l'Unité aujourd'hui, peut-être pas pour exprimer un autre glissement, mais pour délocaliser, n'est-ce pas, la poule qui a été affectée au site d'Olembe, justement en raison du chantier qui continue à prolonger ses prolongations.
Let me start here by saying that it's very unfortunate. It's regrettable that a stadium, as we keep saying, that is just few kilometers away from the presidency. That it was in 2009 that was supposed to host this thing when Pobia assured Cameroon that Cameroon was supposed to be ready on the day of the event. But unfortunately, it never happened. But 2 years after, we are still talking about the same scenario here. In the stadium, most of the stadium, like the Olembe Stadium that was supposed to hold the part of the cup, is still not ready. And people are saying that the ministers are the president. Why is the president? Can the president not move there and look on and see what the situation by his own? Most of the president sit on only one place and begin. What type of president are we having? Does we have in this country? If the president is not able to solve the problem we have in Cameroon, he will say that President Pobia should resign and give an opportunity for the next party to come out and look into a situation.
They're only throwing the blame at President Paul. Yeah, what about CAF? When CAF comes for inspection tour in Cameroon and come out, delegation comes out and say everything is okay, and then they come back 2 days to tell us that everything is not okay.
The situation is
Why are you always blaming
the situation is that in international relations whatsoever there is always diplomacy on everything. So the CAF should not come out and begin to tell us that this is how
it means that there's hypocrisy. There's hypocrisy on the part of CAF.
It's not hypocrisy. When you see these people talking whatsoever they are saying, there are some certain things that are not supposed to be talked public, but there are some certain places maybe when they are going to give out their report, whether to FIFA or the other people, they will tell them exactly what is on the ground, but they might not talk to the public.
Draws were in Cameroon and officials of CAF, they were in Cameroon.
Yeah, they were in Cameroon.
And few days we were hearing stories that the people could not access the stadium for the match. that was played between Cameroon and I have forgotten the name of the other country.
Avec le Malawi.
With Malawi, the private press was bad, and at the end of the day, CAF came out to say, it's because the private press could have, exposed the state of the stadium.
That's what I'm saying, that the CAF...
But the very CAF said everything was okay. When
they said publicly that everything was okay, but I'm coming to tell you that the CAF knew very well, even though that they knew very well that that Olympic Stadium was not ready. The only problem there is that they knew that they will have an alternative, like the way they have transferred the stadium. They are saying that they want to transfer...
To where?
To the other stadium in the country. What stadium here that is ready to host the cup? That's what
the problem is the timetable now.
Yes, that's what we are expecting from them. We are expecting the outcome of the discussion, the indoor discussion between the Secretary General of the Prime Minister Office and the delegation of the CAF from who are here in Cameroon, presently in Cameroon.
Est-ce que la non-finition de ce chantier n'est pas à l'origine d'un certain nombre de situations quand même déplorables, parce que lorsqu'on observe du côté de l'athlétisme, on a constaté que le tartan n'était pas encore posé, et du coup cette compétition qui avait été programmée se voit être carrément impossible d'être effectué dans ce site-là.
We know it very well that our leaders are not accountable. There's lack of accountability, lack of transparency in the management of issues in Cameroon. When you give the task, a project, or someone to execute a project, the leaders ought to have, you need to create a committee who should make sure that they keep monitoring this project.
Don't even go there. We have committees.
There are friends that are...
No. How can you say
if this committee were working well, this could be...
You Cameroonians are the one complaining about committees. You say they have created this committee.
When neutral people who come and tell us the truth of what is happening on the field. Not one people where you go out, choose your own people, maybe within your own family circle or within your own friends.
Okay,
they won't come and give fake information.
Let's go back to the reconstruction, presidential plan for reconstruction of Northwest. We saw a very credible politician that was named by President Pobia, but you Cameroonians went ahead to lambast him for saying that he's black. When somebody is good and is appointed by the president, you guys don't give him the support. I'm talking about the mayor, John Donatus, the mayor, the former mayor of Kumbu.
The issue is that most of the things that
is he still fake?
Most of the problem that we are having here in Cameroon here is caused by these politicians. So when you are appointing any politician in any such position, we first of all doubt his capability.
No, let's talk about the former mayor of Kumbu.
No, only the former mayor. Yes, that's what I'm saying. The former mayor of Kumbu is a politician. It's really said, but
you just condemning the presidential plan for reconstruction.
Yes, I'm condemning the presidential plan for it. So I say that it's a good initiative, but the problem is that it is coming at the wrong time. This is not the right time that this thing was supposed to get. We have to talk. Maybe we call on ceasefire when we keep telling this party to call on immediate and permanent ceasefire, so that we can give chances
for all these things.
Ceasefire between the separatist fighters and the state, the government forces. So that's the only thing that we have to do.
So you are telling a Republican army to keep the guns aside?
We are in war. So if the Cameroon government, through President Pobia, truly love the people, let the President Pobia do everything possible to tell the Cameroonian army and the other people to discuss with them so that they can deposit their arms on the ground, and we take pens and begin to write things instead of using force. Go keep saying that violence will never in any way stop this Anglophone crisis. The military tactics taken by the government, or the military, this thing is a failed strategy. The military strategy is a failed strategy. It cannot work. We know very well. We are seeing what is happening on the ground on a daily basis.
Ok. Madou Tante,
chantier de route Bogo-Pousse. Le président de la République instruit le ministre Emmanuel Nganou Djoumissi d'accélérer, n'est-ce pas, d'engager les travaux. Qu'est-ce qui ne va pas sur ce côté-là?
That's why I keep saying that our leaders they are all failures. This issue is that there's no way as a leader you are given a task to execute. You cannot always say that you're on instruction of president. We keep on waiting on the president to come and instruct you that go and inspect this thing, go and do this, go and look into this. What was the man appointed there at the first place? He was appointed there to play. Those are some of his functions, his duties that you're supposed to be doing. You cannot say that you keep waiting everything on the instruction of his excellency, instruction of his excellency. I don't even know what our leaders are doing in this country. It's terrible. It's regrettable that we are having people as such. The same people, the president is doing the same thing, and his close collaborators, they are doing the same thing. So we are even confused. We want the president to even resign and give chance to other person to come out. And look at the problem we have in Cameroon here. Because the president has it's proven beyond reasonable that our president, in fact, the Anglophone crisis most often has passed the level of the president of the republic. That's why the president is unable to stop the problem again. Let him give chance to another person.
Apparently, you are saying that all the officials who are in power, everybody is back.
No, virtually, not everybody. Virtually. All of
Yes.
them are bad.
I have just
Starting from the
cited-
president of the Republic.
I have just cited
And
the
the full times
case.
we are saying that we have seen that the strategy of the president of the Republic has failed. If he does not have any meaningful other strategy that can solve this problem, then the president give chance to another person to come and look into the
How will
issue.
he give chance when he has just been voted? His
Yes,
mandate is not.
No, if you see a good leader is somebody when you are working and you are given a task to do, if you realize that your things are not going well, you see that you are failure.
But
Don't
the
give
very
chance.
people,
You decide.
the very people, kept on voting.
Whether the very people are voting you or not, but the issue is that you are fighting for the entire country, not a group of people. When you are, even some group of people might vote into power, but when you realize that things are not going well, and you love your country, give a chance for another person to come and look into the situation.
Cameroonians voted for him.
Well, Cameroonians, with that thing, the Cameroonians don't first of all have any institution that organize election that is neutral or impartial. Or they also there are still some.
Okay, Amadou Tante, thank you so much for coming.
Okay, thank you. It's really a pleasure. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you
very
for
much.
coming. Everything we do, we're looking for solution for
That's
our
it.
country.
One piece.
Peace for peace to return. What is happening? All the people are losing their lives over there in the northwest and southwest regions. They are all Cameroonians, be it the military, be it civilians, be it the Ambazonian fighters themselves. They were once Cameroonians before choosing the path that they have chosen today. Thank you for watching. We'll be back on Monday, God willing, for yet another edition of What the Papers Must Have Said. The program was produced by Christian Tebong. For presentation, we've been Etape Kanten and myself, Lasha Kingsley. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend.
Since 1993, EUG is 3 schools: ESG,